Well, who's watching the watchers? That's the question our I-team is looking at tonight with those license plate reading cameras. A new set of eyes is watching where and how they operate. Here's I-team reporter Sean Haggerty with the story new tonight. Sean?
Yeah, Josh, our investigative team has spent months dissecting everything that goes into these license plate readers. You know them as flock cameras. Tonight at 11 o'clock, you're going to meet a group that is watching the camera placements. Now, this week, I spoke with the reporter who's working that story. I was asking him, why is it so important that the cameras and departments like that are monitored?
Yeah, I mean, this technology is incredibly powerful. And the more cameras there are and the more police departments using them and interconnecting their systems through Flock, the more powerful that system becomes. If you're looking for a criminal suspect, you know, after a murder or a kidnapping, or you're trying to find a stolen car, it's incredibly effective. But in order for that technology to be as effective as it is, you have to track every car that passes every camera and keep that data for 30 days so that that historical data can be searched when a crime is committed. The idea is once the burglary is reported, you can only search for the burglar after they've left the scene. Well, with Flock, you can go back in time and see which vehicles entered that neighborhood or were nearby at the time. They're great for leads. The problem is, because you're tracking everyone without a warrant and without reasonable suspicion, when bad actors want to use that information, and some of them are police officers, they've been arrested for stalking their exes or love interests, well, that technology is just as powerful for those uses as well.
And we've had the debate about them here, especially in the Toledo area, with Toledo police saying they're such a great resource. Are you talking to departments, are you talking to agencies that are starting to change their mind, that are not as interested as they were before?
I mean, yeah, absolutely. More than 24 police departments this year alone have canceled their Flock contracts. Flock says many more have started their contracts, but Denver, Colorado is probably the biggest that comes to mind. And it came down to, you know, just who has access to this data, because, you know, Denver could control how its police department uses its cameras. But this is how Flock works, is they're networked with other police departments, and it's up to each city, each county, each agency, which agencies they share with. But your police department in Toledo might have an excellent policy for how it handles and audits the Flock camera searches. But there are multiple police departments connected to Toledo's police department, in many cases, just as an example, and that, you know, how does Toledo hold a police department in Kansas responsible for how it searches Toledo's cameras?
All right, so tonight at 11 o'clock, in addition to watching the watchers, the Flock company itself is going to respond to some of those major criticisms of the operation. Josh?
Very interesting, Sean. You can watch his full conversation with Brendan anywhere you stream 13 Action News. That's where you'll also find the answer to whether Flock sells your data to third-party companies.